I don't want that to happen again. But more importantly, it's the shock of someone controlling your body that much. In a self-defense or street situation, same thing. In a cage match, and there's that one guy, when I won that title, I picked him up and slammed him 3 different times. He'd never been slammed in his life before. He just did the 3 things that in the gym they tell you to do, and he did it all perfectly, supposedly. But he got slammed hard. One guy took my back, rear naked choke. I dove like I was diving in a pool. His mom didn't let him fight after that, from what I heard. That was the rumor. So the idea is learning how to control that situation is the most important thing before you teach him to spar. I want him to know striking. I want him to know boxing when they're 6. I want to hit the pads when I want to be phenomenal on the pads till they're 8, 10. They're getting good. No reason to kick and punch each other because you're trying to learn in sparring. You're trying to learn what techniques work for you. If your body hasn't developed, you're really just learning how to spar, like what you learned in grade school. You learn how to learn. You know what I mean? You know. So the idea is there's that same path. With a kid, I suggest judo, wrestling. That's a mindset for the kids because I don't want any of them to ever have to fight. Definitely don't want any of the kids that I teach to ever fight professionally. I don't want you guys to do it, but your dream, I'll ride it out with you. All right? Does that make sense? I don't want them to ever fight. I don't want them to hit each other I don't want them to bump heads when they're in here. So thinking about having my children that I change or that I teach, have them come in and spar at 6, have them come in and spar at 8, you got to think, what's the point? They're not getting better at their techniques that they're going to use in sparring. They're missing the point of self-defense, which is control the situation. They're learning, I just got to punch, kick, and hope something good happens. So there's my mentality. The mentality towards kids is get them on there, having them punch and kick each other. It doesn't really build their confidence the way it does. What it does, it teaches them to punch and kick instead of manipulating and controlling the situation. Yeah, which question?
So for me, if I am not looking to step into a cage or do a fight or something like that, but I want to be the best I can be at defending myself, where should my focus be? If I'm not shooting for a competition or anything like that, my focus
All right,
is
you got 3 guesses. What's your guess?
Grappling.
Thank you, close. Jiu-jitsu. That's it. Jiu-jitsu is the gentle art. Jiu-jitsu is the one where the better you can get at jiu-jitsu, the less you have to worry about the Muay Thai. I'm gonna say it again. The better you get, the stuff that you see in the self-defense videos or whatever, and they go up and they go, grab the wrist, read your police report. That's not how it happens. They jump out behind you, they get that first one, and the woman goes in and shot. Does that make sense? So the idea is spatial awareness first, but as far as you go, if you can control, manipulate the situation, yeah. And the idea there is you can't, for you, someone who doesn't fight or whatever, you can't spar every day because you want to get hit in the face. I don't want to get in the face either. What you can do is what? You can grapple every day. You can do pummeling every day. You can do competitive underhooks every day. What do you need? Training partners you trust and can get better. That's it. So that's kind of the theme today is keeping your training partner safe. But as a woman, somebody who wants to get that, hey, I don't know, I don't really want to test myself. It doesn't mean you have to spar at all. I still need you to get great at grappling. That way, if you go against somebody who does cardio kickboxing at another gym somewhere, and they come up, you're gonna go, okay, well, Toby told me underhooks and grab your legs and drop you on your head. Cool. You know what I mean? Or if someone goes to take you somewhere, then you can fight your way out of it. Why are you getting to fight someone who wants to rob you, rape you, or steal you? Right? It's 3 reasons. If striking, punching, kicking gonna help you with any of those 3? Maybe. If you can really fight off 1 or 2 men, but your ability to make it so hard for them to grab you or hold you, you're gonna make them go, okay, I'm over it. That's what's gonna do it. Once they get those first few strikes or whatever they do, and you're gonna stand there and strike with a grown man? He's just gonna throw bombs, hope something lands. And then he's probably gonna do what? If he wants to steal you, he's gotta get close to you and grab your purse. He wants to rape you, he's got to get really close. He wants to kidnap you, he's got to physically lift you and put you in a car, van, or room. That makes sense? All the striking in the world ain't going to help you with a grown man who gets that close. But grappling will, having I hold you here and just being able to go, you know, the little stuff. The little stuff you don't think about, having, you know, everybody likes to bite your guy's ears, the spike elbow, that stuff, somebody pulling you close. Doing jiu-jitsu regularly. If you want to spar, you can spar. What does that mean in jiu-jitsu? That means going with somebody your weight, another woman, having a mouthpiece, and going, hey, here's what we're going to do, and making sure that neither of you hurt each other. Does that make sense? Now, how do you get better at controlling or fighting a man off?
Yes.
Thank you. And that's why all these women go to the gym. There's no women at that gym. Oh, really? Because you plan on fighting other women in the street? No. If you get in a street situation, 99.9% of the time you're going to be fighting off another guy, a man, or some stupid team. So go to a gym with a bunch of men, lose your ego, put your rash guard on, grapple with guys, and the first one that hurts you, tell me, and I will whoop their ass. Does that make sense? What do the men get out of training with you? Well, not you specifically. I'm sorry, my head went somewhere else. What do men get out of training with women? What they get is the ability to execute deadly and devastating techniques without hurting their training partner. I like going with kids. I like going with women. One, I know I'm not going to get elbowed in the back of the head. I'm not going to get kicked in the balls. Something crazy is not going to happen. And all I have to do is execute these techniques without putting my weight on them. Execute these techniques without hurting them. You know how great that makes you? You're doing the favor for these guys. Does that make sense? You're doing, like, oh, they don't want to roll with me. Show me the guy who doesn't want to roll with me. I'll show you a guy who doesn't want to get better. Show me a guy who doesn't want to make you better and go hard and not hurt you. That's a guy who can't. Does that make sense? Get in a good jiu-jitsu school. That's where it's going to go. You get a good jiu-jitsu, get a good couple of jiu-jitsu partners. These guys are big. Everybody here is bigger than you. Your attacker is going to be bigger than you. Unless you started, usually. Normally your attacker is bigger. Why? Because they have an advantage. Bullies don't look for people that they can't bully. Does that make sense? So if you get in an altercation, it's going to be a little girl, a little bit taller, probably a lot heavier, who doesn't like the muscles. All right? She's going to say, oh yeah, muscles. I don't even know what's over the contract. What would you call it? What are you going to do? Lift me? All right, no, I'm sorry. I was just trying to think of what they would say. All right, cool. But there's your answer. Jiu-jitsu is the answer. Jiu-jitsu gives you the ability to be uke-tori. It gives you the ability to get close to people. Getting comfortable in another person's space is hard. When you put your pajamas on, you put your gi on, and it's hot, and it's sweaty. That's it. Something I didn't talk about. Make your training hard. Make it miserable. Make it horrible. I put a gi top on, and a sweatshirt, and a t-shirt on when I jump rope. Why? I want it to be miserable. I'm not coming out here to make it easy. I'm not like, oh, well, yeah, I'm going to work out hard. No, miserable. I put a hooded sweatshirt on, 2 hooded sweatshirts, and a gi on when I used to train for my fights during open roll. It was I still remember it. Hot, miserable. Sweatshirts in my face. People would pull the sweatshirt over. It's horrible. You know what was easy? Getting locked in a steel cage. It's like, whew, oh man, I'm no restricted, I can breathe. It's cool in here. Yeah, that's what you want. People don't get that. That's what fighters don't get. They come in, when training's the funnest part, which is what everybody looks for, when training's the funnest part, you're gonna have a tough time fighting in a cage. If fighting's the funnest part, a lot of guys show up and they just love, I just love to train. Oh, that's weird. You're fought in a cage? No, but then you don't love it. You don't get it. I love to win. I love to compete. I love to expand my art. I love to learn. So I get in a steel cage. All right? Those guys are like, oh yeah, I love my training. You probably haven't trained with me. You probably haven't trained you for a fight. I probably haven't yelled at you and made you cry. Does that make sense? That's why you love to train. And that's why you will love to lose, or you will hate to lose in the cage. I love to fight. I hate to train. I hate to train for the fight. I got in here yesterday training. You know what? We got towards the end. We were doing pummeling, and I was like, I don't feel miserable. I'm going to grab a battle rope. Okay, now I'm a battle rope. Now I'm going to skip rope by a battle rope. I'm going to make this freaking miserable. It was miserable. I started off with two shirts, gi top, and a sweatshirt for 20 minutes of jump rope. That's how I started. It was miserable. I hated it. I didn't want to do it. I wasn't trying to show off. I was here 2 months ago. Nobody showed up at 9 a.m. I did 45 minutes or 30 minutes of rope. I hooded sweatshirt, lights off. It's cool because nobody bothered me. The same thing with without you. Does that make sense? So the idea there is I'm trying to make it miserable when I'm doing my open roll with you, or I'm going to do maybe like a naga, or I have 15 people on the floor and I want to slap a couple people. I go, whatever, cool. Hands up! No? Does that make sense? So that's what you want to get is you want to train, it's a little hard. You want it to be fun, but your sparring should be fun. Your sparring you should enjoy. That makes sense? The other stuff, coming in here hitting the pads, coming in here doing combo for 2 and you're pummeling. It's fun because you know you're getting better, but it shouldn't be fun because of the activity. Like the pummeling, like you guys pummel me. I don't know if it's fun when you guys do it with me, but I'm not really trying to have fun. I mean, I'm not going, ooh, this is okay. I'm usually like, all right, I'm gonna back you up, really. Now you give it back to me. I'm not going in there going, ooh, this is fun. You won't win a fight like that. You win a fight, okay, I'm a little stuck here. My hand got stuck here. I don't like that. Cool. Then you get in a steel cage and all that bad, uncomfortable stuff that you made happen in training doesn't bother you when you're in a steel cage in front of a couple 100,000 people. Does that make sense? Cool. That answer your question? Artemis, you got any questions? No, she's good. Cool, guys. Thanks for coming. Oof.